You know, one of the things that I can tell you about being able to have your own blog is that I get to do whatever I want to do. If I want to talk about fashion, I could talk about fashion. If I want to talk about romance, I'll talk about romance. And that's the kind of the luxury of being able to be on this journey. But you know, Chris came to me with a question, and he asked me, he goes, how did you get prepared to start the new year? And so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about my journey and going back and talking about how it was for me to prepare for the new year, to prepare for, you know, the parties that I wanted to have. So, you know, it always started in the latter part of the year that I was making my preparations for the beginning of the year. So what I was doing was, you know, during the months of, you know, the latter months of December, of course, I was really very adamant about selling really wonderful packages to make my my consumers' job a lot easier. But also I was putting in a lot of incentives on why you should book that party at the beginning of the year. You're going right into your Valentine's Day sales. And so therefore, I would always tell people at the end of the year, if you don't book early, come January, you're not going to get me before your February parties. Now, whether that was a true or a lie, only I knew. So I made it an emergency for them to come into that ordering room and set that party up for me so I could be there, not only for them, but also for their friends. And so now during the Christmas break was the time for me to now start working on incentivizing those customers that were going to be there January and February to move on to March and April. Well, of course, there was no Twitter, and there was no Facebook, and there was none of that. To me, I think that here, I might be old school, but I really think that people become more committed in doing something for you when they see how passionate you are about it. And so therefore, you know, reading something and talking about something is two totally different ball games. I mean, I can choose not to read your message if I want to. But if I really want to know you as a person, if I really want to book a party from you, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know your style. I want to know if you're going to fit in with my friends. And so therefore, you know, I want to put myself in front of you so I can tell you about the wonderful world of Pure Romance and what we have to offer and the great products. And I want to hear about your friends and what they're looking for. That was always in the back of my mind. Whether I had debt or not have debt, you always have bills to pay. And I think that most young moms probably overextend themselves come holiday season. And was that always an incentive for me to make sure that those parties were booked just in case? Absolutely. And also, I knew that spring was going to be right around the corner. So, you know, and then there was the spring sports. So I was always looking ahead of what I needed to be committed to, not only for my business, but also for my family. As a woman, I think we really stretch ourselves. And I always prepared mentally way before the game. Anybody that says that they're going to go out and they're going to play a sport, and they just can walk on the field and play it, I call bull. You have to mentally prepare yourself that, hey, this is, you know, and you have to prepare your family. I would always set my children down and say, okay, next couple months, it might be brutal, but you know what? You know, we're going to have vacation in blah, blah, blah month, or it's going to be the end of school, or you guys are looking forward to playing soccer. Whatever it was, I wanted them to be just as committed in making my life easier, because they were going to reap some rewards in the long run. So I think communication, again, plays a big part. Preparing yourself here and being able to help your children and your significant other be prepared as well to help support you. And always telling them, I need support, I need your help. It comes down to three things of getting prepared for that new year, is making sure you have a plan in place, making sure that you're prepared, and making sure that you have communication, not only communicating with yourself, but your family and your children as well.